My approach to the movie was to do a stage play, at the same time doing a movie, at the same time doing television. In other words, I used all the things I learned in all my life to do this movie. The stuff was so unique and very, very different, because Malcolm Willis was very, very creative. I think the greatest part of the movie, and that attracted everyone to the movie, because we had over 100 people involved, was the uniqueness and the imagination. For instance, wardrobe and makeup had a real challenge, because everybody's playing cats, and they're doing their best with the language, the best they can. It's a bundle of kids, they're very talented, they are going in and doing it to the best of their ability, but having fun doing it by singing and dancing and tackling the English language.
Maybe you're getting better.
This movie is not too easy. A lot of this dialogue is in iambic pentameter. This is probably the first play since basically Shakespeare's day in which this iambic pentameter, which is sort of this 9-syllable type of speech, has been used. Like Hamlet and to be or not to be, that is the question. And here I'm trying to write in that style, which has gone out of business probably 400 years ago. Our two leads, the Colette and Tomcat, are so professional, really, and the rest come very close to the mark. I've just sat back and sort of enjoyed it, really.
Tomcat and I, we got the script and we read through it, and of course there are things, because of the language being Shakespearean, or Willet's Shakespearean, it was, and for me as a foreigner, it was sometimes hard to get to the essence of everything that I was saying. So to be able to ask my questions was very rewarding.
Malcolm is quite an intelligent individual. He spent a great deal of time putting this piece together, obviously. And in our talks about the character, he's really brought me through. He's actually sort of given me free rein after we've done a couple little read-throughs, and I've gotten to sort of push him a little bit to the edges. But Malcolm has really thought this entire thing through a lot more than we've had the chance to do ourselves.
I definitely would have been nowhere without Malcolm. I would have been lost in translation, that's for sure. I got to spend an entire day with him, about 3 hours, going through my entire script. I had it all highlighted and ready to go, and he went over each individual word of what it meant, and I needed it because he tells me what it is, but still I come back to sometimes going on stage and I'll still forget which one means or how to pronounce it correctly. So it's great to always have him on the set to kind of let me know exactly what I need to change or how I need to pronounce it.
Malcolm, he's one of these people who he's so intelligent, and you can just tell the man is smarter than I could ever imagine being, And when he explains it with such passion, obviously because he wrote it and it's his baby. When you combine that passion with the intelligence, and then he tries to bring that across to you and how he sees the character, it really paints a very easy picture in your mind as an actor of what he intended.
In the last few weeks, we've really caught up a bit and really understood the storyline a bit more. But he's the master of this world. You could say that's for sure.
Working with Malcolm is a completely different process than I've ever had the experience before, because you're not usually able to talk with the writer specifically on their own character development. So the creative process behind that was really an amazing journey. Reading it on script and then actually getting to speak with Malcolm about how he saw Nell versus how I read Nell, and we were able to discuss and develop her even to a stronger character.
I know all of us as cast members were able to spend a little time with Malcolm prior to filming in our pre-production phase. And so it was a wonderful experience to really work hand in hand with the writer. I always think that the relationship with the writer, especially for the actor, is very important. It allows you to kind of get inside the mind of what the writer was thinking.
And when we were talking about the character, he would explain just some of the emotions behind the words, or where he felt like the character was coming from. And one of the important things as an actor is, yes, you want to bring yourself to it, and yes, you want to work with the director on developing the character, but no matter what, you want the writer's intentions to be there.
The whole idea of it being written in very much Shakespearean pentameter, it takes, you have to really get into the dialogue and understand all the little, metaphors and things that are not really being said, but yet maybe are being said. So there's a lot of that, and you research and you do the words and you look up the words you can't pronounce, and you pull out your Shakespeare books from college and you're like, oh, okay.
And to actually hear from the author, from the creator, that we were right on a lot of things was very good. So that's what we did.
Tell you, it's tough. Shakespeare's not easy. So I definitely appreciate all the help, and he's definitely guided me in a great way. So thank you, Malcolm.
When I first read it, I saw it maybe a little differently, but after talking with him, discussing, I guess, the character, the themes in the play, all that, it became a little clearer. Though, for me, just when we got into costume and got into makeup, that really influeed a lot of, I think, how the character, comes about. Actors love it when, we get to wear this, because it really gives us a sort of base to work from when we're creating a character.
Jack McAdam is a person I've worked with for many, many years. And he's a very creative production designer. He's also a producer-director. He's not as good as me in those areas, otherwise I wouldn't be working with him. But he's a great production designer, has a great imagination. And I lost him like 3 or 4 years ago. I couldn't find him anywhere. And when I was looking for a production designer, I wasn't thinking of him anymore because we couldn't find him. My sons introduced me to the production designer of Independence Day and Daredevil, and he was going to come up as a favor and work with me. And as I was about to talk to him on the phone, I got a phone call. It was Jack McAdam, and he was in Barrie, Ontario, doing his stuff, and had left the United States like 4 or 5 years ago. And he called me, so I sent him the script. He loved the script, had a great concept for it. Which was more the kind of concept that Malcolm had in mind. I was more thinking of a concept like Our Town. This concept that you're going to see in this movie, which is everything takes place on a stage, and they are putting on this play, which is telling me about their life and so on, and passing time, hoping that they're not going to be kicked out of the place they're in. This is Amelia Carson's cats, and they were abandoned because she left all her money to her animals. And so the city didn't like that. They were trying to get rid of the cats. So in a sense, this is how the cats, played by humans, spending their time. So they put on this play that is the movie Shakespeare's Cat. Malcolm Willis doesn't really believe that Shakespeare existed. He believes that this whole thing is written by Shakespeare's cat. So that's the reason for the name of this movie.
I think one thing is a relatively good title, if I do say so myself. There's a great many people interested in Shakespeare and a great many cat lovers. So you put that together and you've got a pretty good title. Of course, you should have a good play or movie to follow it. Some of them, almost all of them, have really exceeded my expectations. Of course, most of the people in Shakespeare's Cat have had prior stage experience. I just stand in awe of the time it takes, even to film a relatively low-budget movie like this, the care that is taken by makeup people and costumers and the dance instructor and lighting, not to mention directing and choosing the cast. I mean, good heavens. You ought to see the work that went into even this film. And I'm privileged to have them. How did I find them? Well, I'm not so sure. I found one good man, namely Jorn Winther, who tended to know all the other good people.
Mason Lawrence, who's playing the lead here, is a fabulous actor. I'm very lucky to be able to get him. Faye Sloan, and put him in a fantastic outfit, and the makeup on him was great. But the main thing is, he kind of held the movie together. He was like the glue together with Victoria Goodwin. And she came from Germany like half a year ago. It's all a concentrated person who is very persistent, which you need to become an actress, who wants to be successful. She has the quality of becoming the character. She was the character all the time. All the big actresses and so on, that's what they try to do, is become the character, and she did. She's got enormous talent, not only as an actress, but also as a singer. Todd Kent, who played Captain LaCroix, and Todd Kent just does a marvelous job, and it's in the beginning of the movie, so it gives the movie a real lift, but this guy is a great actor. Blake Bentley is an actor in progress. He's a stand-up comic. He's very funny, but he has definitely got talent. He had a big part here that was very difficult to play because he's very, very wordy, and he actually struggled with it, but he worked on it very, very hard, and eventually got a very good character and believable character. There's a good future for him as long as he keeps working. Heather is one of my students, and she's kind of a wild, interesting person. She has won like $150,000 doing game shows. She has a lot of talent, has great spirit. The main thing when I had her first, her voice was all, every time she started to act, she got into her Sunday school voice. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I managed to bring this down. And she's now been in Los Angeles and has several parts, and she's got one of the parts in this movie, and she do a terrific job.
Hey! Where are Tomcat and Colette? Thanks.
Tristan is a unique talent. He has the talent of Robin Williams. He's a wonderful actor for a director. Whatever you give him, he played a dog here. And he has so much imagination, and he again becomes the character. It's just unique to watch him. And he's in the wrong place. He should not be here. He should be in LA or New York. This guy is a phenomenal talent. And particularly in the Robin Williams kind of thing, he can act at the same time. He has the tremendous comedic ability. And it's really weird that I ended up doing the movie, considering I don't speak English. And but I did Hamlet in Danish, and I have a very good Shakespearean background. But I can't pronounce the words or anything like that. So I'm the most unlikely person to do this. 3, 2, 1, action.
Her or not her? That is the question.
Okay, once more. That's the question. That is the question.
That is the question.